This is Dr. Austin Cohen, and I am with Jessica Elizondo, our nutrition advisor at the office. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you so much.
And we are here tonight, and today we're going to be sharing with everyone our Purification Cleanse, 21-day Purification Cleanse that you can see on the screen now. And we're going to be sharing with you some insight into and how it's transformed a lot of people's lives who have been coming into the office and how it's really made a great impact on them, whether it has to do with energy or some people's goal was losing weight, some people just getting kick-started, some people want to do it for the new year, some people want to do it halfway through the year. Everyone has different goals on why they do it, but the good news is we're helping everyone achieve their goals. Jessica's been a huge asset to that, and she's going to be explaining to you a lot tonight about what this webinar is about. And also throughout this webinar, we're going to be talking about the cleanse and what it entails, the costs, and what you can expect throughout the whole process. So Jess, why don't you give us a little bit of insight into this cleanse and what we're expecting tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Dr. Cohen, for introducing me. And I'm so excited to be here with you all and just walking through, what cleansing is and what it's going to look like in our office. So I'm going to be going through some slides, like Dr. Cohen said, with information on detoxing and specifically what our program entails. And again, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, definitely let me know. So going to the first slide here. First, we need to know why it's important to cleanse, or what we call is detoxify our bodies. So every day we're exposed to poisons called toxins, which are harmful substances that interfere with the body's ability to function properly and then which ultimately leads to disease. So if you can see here, toxins can enter the body through various means. So for instance, there are chemical toxins in the air from car exhaust and power plants, as well as in plastic containers, especially when they're heated in the microwave. So if you ever need to reheat food, definitely put them in like a glass container or like a paper plate versus in a plastic container, because the chemicals from the plastic end up leaching into the food, and that's never a good thing. So food toxins like high fructose corn syrup, or MSG, you might have heard of those, are in many packaged, boxed, or canned goods. And then there are also ingredient toxins in everyday household cleaners, body lotions, toothpaste, etc. And then not to mention the toxicity that builds from stress and negative thoughts as well, which is a really, really powerful thing. So be cautious of all the thoughts that you have throughout the day.
Yeah, and also some of these things, what we're looking at right here, is even if some of you are looking at this slide right now and you're saying, oh, well, I don't eat anything that has food additives, soft drinks, I don't, I use all organic, paraben-free perfumes, lotions, hairsprays. I mean, the fact is a lot of things we can't even control. Yeah, there's a lot of things we can control in our life as far as toxicity. But, if we take like our whole lifespan and the life we lived, and we even look at like the first 18 years of it, we didn't know a whole lot about parabens, and we didn't know a lot about food additives and a lot of the things that were in our food that we were exposed to. And also just, running outside. When you're running outside, it's not like you can control that. You're not wearing a mask when you run outside. That's getting rid of all the toxic fumes from the exhaust pipes. You're inhaling those things. So there's things we can control. There's things we can't control. Throughout this cleanse, definitely the goal is to eliminate the toxins you've built up throughout your lifetime so far. Not, we're going to do as many as we can, but also then learning the steps you need to take so you can start controlling toxins that go into your body for the future, so you keep this clean, healthy body for the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And so first, just to show an example of that, we're going to look at some reports from the Environmental Protection Agency. So if you look at this slide right here, this, just so you know that this report, you can see at the bottom here, was taken in 1989. So you can imagine that those numbers now are completely different and most likely even more than they are right here. But just to show you for an example. So this first part here, the World Health Organization estimates that 4.6 million people die each year just directly from air pollution, which is a pretty scary number. And then if you go to that next section at the bottom, in 1989, as I had said, the EPA estimated that in 1 year, that many pounds of chemicals, that is an absurd number, were released into public sewage from, the air, the water, the ground, etc. So it's pretty scary what's going on in our world in terms of all the chemical pollutions.
Yeah, most of us don't even have, filter sort. Like personally for me, like I don't have a filter for my filtration system for my showers, for my dishwasher, for my laundry, washing machine, for the sink. So, when I brush my teeth, when I wash my body, when I do my dishes, when I wash my clothes, those things are getting exposed to certain toxins that are within the water system. I have no control over those things unless I were to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, getting a completely amazing filtration system. So as good as I think I'm doing, there's still things I could be doing better as far as toxicity and removing from them. And just like all of us, and that's why cleansing, at least once or twice a year is such an important thing for your body.
Absolutely. And especially if you go to the next slide, in terms of food, we've just strayed so far from real wholesome foods. And instead, we've gone to what I'll call pseudo foods. So the US allows chemicals and additives and dyes into our foods today that most countries have banned, which is pretty scary, I think. So then if we go to this slide here, now, and so many of you are aware of the dangers in some of today's foods, and I commend you from staying away from some of these. And one of the goals of this cleanse is to understand where the hidden additives are hiding, because they're sneaky and oftentimes in foods we would not expect, like mustard, baby carrots, or even almond milk.
Yeah, when you look at this slide right here, I think this is an obvious one to see. Everyone knows that ice cream and donuts and potato chips and French fries and onion rings and all these things. We all know that this slide right here is bad. And I think what the key is, and this is what you'll learn a lot with Jessica, is that there's so many things that you're eating right now that you actually don't know that are bad for you. I know people who come in here all the time and they'll be like, oh, I just started making this with marinara sauce. Well, marinara sauce is one of the biggest sources where there's hidden sugar that's out there. So there's a lot of places that we don't even realize it. And it'll be important as you go through this cleanse and you spend time with Jessica over the 21 days that you not only detox your body, that what's happened already in the past, but you prep it and learn the information to keep it clean for the future.
Absolutely. And we have a couple different packages for this cleanse. And as part of our deluxe package, we get to spend some time together looking at the foods you typically eat through a food log and uncover their true ingredients. So I'm here for questions, concerns, and confusions throughout the entire program. So as you can see from this slide, and then a couple of the ones thereafter, the CDC has kept track of obesity rates in the US for several decades. So we're going to run through the past 30 years of how our country's lifestyles have changed and then thus affected our weight. So if you look at this particular graph in 1988, you can see that 7 states were recorded to have more than 35% of their population categorized as obese. So then in 1992, we see an increase to 17 states, and then again to 27 states in 1996. Now, if you look at 1999, just 3 years later, all but 3 states claim that more than 35% of their population is obese. Then in 2000, every single state succumbed to this epidemic. Now, the CDC had to add another color scale to the map because of the dramatic rise in numbers of obesity rates. So it's clearly a problem in our country.
And, this past, not too long ago, I was in Hawaii, and I just found out that actually Hawaii is one of the healthiest states that's out there in the country. But sadly enough, when I was there, I was looking around, I was thinking in my head, wow, there's a lot of people that are overweight, a lot of people that are obese here. I wonder what the health stats are, because I was thinking in my head that this probably isn't the healthiest state that's out there. So when I did research and I found that it was the healthiest, I was very surprised and I was very shocked. But it's the healthiest with a 20% obesity rate, which goes to show how unhealthy really the rest of our country is. And we're not here judging or blaming anyone for their faults and where they are in their life right now, because really a lot of it comes down to education, where people maybe just have not been educated the right way and learned the discipline habits in order to make the changes for their life. And that's what we really want to get people to realize over these 21 days. I mean, these 21 days are not just 21 days. These are 21 days for the rest of your life. So when you get these principles and you get the concepts and you create these discipline and habits, the rest of your life will change. And that gives you such better opportunity with your family, your friends, your kids, the things you enjoy doing, all that energy that you never expected you could possibly have. You'll find that stored deep down in there as you release these toxins, and you'll be able to live it to your greatest.
Yeah, we get one body, and that body's with us our whole lives. And so we just need to take the best care of our bodies that we can. That way we can live a really long and fruitful life. So, and all that to say that toxins manifest themselves in very different ways. And each person experiences different symptoms when toxins are present. So as you can see from this list, you may experience one or all of these symptoms. So weight gain, fatigue, headaches, allergies, and muscle pain. Hormone function is a huge one that I'm seeing right now with clients. Anxiety and stress, especially with the demanding work field that we work with today. Edema, skin rashes, sleep problems. These are all things, and this is just a short list. This is by no means an extensive list of symptoms you can experience.
Yeah, and the sad thing is we'll get people who come to the office and they'll say, oh, well, I mean, I get the normal headaches, or the normal fatigue around 3-4 o'clock, or, I get normal sleep at like 5-6 hours a night. But, those are definitely not normal situations. Yeah, they're considered common in a very unhealthy country, where most of us, live in a very overweight or obese world. But the fact is they're common, yes. Normal, not at all. It's not normal for people who actively take really strong care of their bodies, eat local, organic, sustainable, healthy food, for people who are working out regularly, getting that heart rate up, just getting their bodies moving constantly. It's definitely not normal for those kind of people. But yes, for people who don't take care, it's extremely common. And we don't want to compare ourselves to other people that are out there, our friends, our coworkers, our family members. Comparing yourself to them is one of the worst things you could possibly do, because you're just comparing yourself to an unhealthy, society. You want to compare yourself to, not necessarily comparing yourself to like where it stresses you out, but find out what are the healthiest people that are out there doing and take advice from them. Follow them. You're not going to take marriage advice from someone who's been divorced 100 times, or take financial advice from someone who's gone bankrupt 15 times. Okay. You're going to follow people that have done it the right way and done it successfully.
And we're not just talking about people who have weight issues in terms of being overweight, because people who are regular weight or even underweight can still experience these symptoms and still have dysfunctioning organs.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. In fact, I like to cleanse as well myself, so I'm definitely not in the overweight or obese category. But yeah, just like Jessica's saying, maybe I said it as I'm talking to people that are overweight or obese, but this definitely, cleansing and detoxifying, goes to almost every single person that's out there, no matter what their weight is. It's really just designed for people that want to take their life to the next level.
And if you want to see your toxicity levels, I do have a toxicity questionnaire. So just stop by the front desk, or when you're in the office, or if you would like me to email you one, I can definitely do that. So now that we understand that we need to flush out these toxins, let's discuss how much better you can feel with our 21-day purification program. So by doing this detox cleanse together, you can experience improved circulation or sleep improvement patterns, hormone function regulation, enhanced overall health, increased energy, and just a general overall appearance and youthful feel and look.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people who do this cleanse, they say increased energy is a huge one. It's funny how some people come in here and they'll say that they thought that they had a lot of energy before going into the cleanse, but they didn't realize how much was stored in there or how much was hidden from all the toxins that have built up over the energy that could have been released. And sleep, I know, is another big one that people get on this cleanse. People are so used to sleeping like 6 hours or 5-6 hours, whatever, is a night interrupted. And they don't realize that when the body's not stressed out and you release a lot of these toxins and you get everything working at a cellular level really healthy, the body wants to sleep. That's how it repairs. That's how it recovers. It's such a crucial and very underrated thing in our lives. For people, I've heard some people make the comments of, you can sleep when you're dead. That to me is one of the worst comments you could ever say, because the fact is people who get the most sleep tend to be the most productive and tend to live the longest. So, that statement right there doesn't really make any sense, but it is true that a lot of these things that you'll, experience are some of these right in here, and things you never even realized you could possibly have, which is amazing.
And during this time of cleansing for 21 days, your body will get a total reboot. So it's like a major spring or fall cleaning of your cells, your blood vessels, and your organs. And what's more exciting than that, in my opinion?
Yeah.
So take a look. We're going to look at 2 different blood tests. And so if you look at this first one here, this is from a friend's practice. And so here's just sent over the records here. So if you look before the cleanse, the cholesterol levels was at 263. And then the triglycerides were at 181. And then the LDLs, which is considered the bad cholesterol, which we'll talk a little bit more about that, is at a 174. So originally, if you look to the after, those numbers have a significant drop. And if you look at the cholesterol, it's an 85 number change, which is awesome. And then if you look at the triglycerides as well, that number decreased by 74. And then the LDLs had a drop of 67. Those are huge number changes.
Yeah, those are pretty drastic. I mean, this person literally just saved themselves from a heart attack, from diabetes, from, maybe developing some, the body building more cancer cells. This person, and that's what's so cool about, I think, these things like cleanses and purification programs and chiropractic massage, really just everything in general, is it's the mystery of the unknown. It's the things that you never know that you prevented your body from getting because you were taking such good care of it. So I never know that by eating so healthy and working out regularly, I never know, maybe, I was going to have a heart attack at 35, but because of how well I took it, maybe it takes me out to 75. There's no way of obviously knowing a lot of these things, but it's so important that we take such good care of our bodies and we prevent things that we never know that were going to happen to us.
Yep. And when we look at these numbers, we hear these terms, the cholesterol, triglycerides, LDLs, HDLs, thrown out all the time. But I just want to kind of give an overview basis so you know exactly what these chemicals and reactions are in your body. So cholesterol we hear is a bad thing, but that's not true. It's actually not a bad thing at all. Cholesterol is a fatty substance that helps with many of the body's natural processes, for example, such as digestion or hormone regulation. So what's important is the ratio of the HDLs and the LDL levels. So for a quick lesson, essentially what is happening is that the LDLs, or the quote bad cholesterol, distribute cholesterol to the body. And then the HDLs go in and pick up the excess, so it doesn't collect on the walls or the arteries. So it's this combination, this togetherness that they have, that's why the ratio is so important. So this excess, when people have excess of LDLs, that's what gives them the bad rep as bad cholesterol. It's just because too much has been distributed, but not enough has been picked back up. So that's why I said the ratio is just so important when looking at cholesterol levels.
And that's why if you go to your medical doctor and they see that your LDL is high, the first thing that wants to happen is you would get put on a statin or a cholesterol-lowering drug. Well, is the problem the LDL, or is the problem maybe diet that increases the LDL so your body can't produce enough HDL in order to lower the LDL levels? So, when we look at cause versus effect, high LDL is just an effect typically of poor diet or poor lifestyle. And so a statin drug usually, and I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm just stating like some of the obvious, but a statin drug typically is designed to treat effects, not necessarily work on the cause why the person has the high LDL anyways in the first place. Because if that person got off the cholesterol of the statin drug, their LDL will just shoot right back up. And that's just how the nature of the body works.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so then if we real quick look at the triglycerides, triglycerides is a fancy term for fat in the blood, essentially. So it's an important number to understand as well. And then according to the National Cholesterol Education Program guidelines, if you ever look at that, the normal triglycerides measure fewer than 150 milligrams. And the borderline high triglycerides are 150 to 199. So you can see Tom jumped from borderline high to well within the normal range because of this 21-day cleanse. So then let's look at Megan's blood work. So if you look at her cholesterol, amazing, 344. And then after the cleanse, it goes down to 182. That's incredible. And then her triglycerides before the cleanse were so high, they were at 787, which is beyond the highest level. And so if you look after the triglycerides, they were at 108. So this program, there's no doubt that there's a healing aspect to this program where it just really cleans out the body, especially these the cholesterol, triglycerides, LDLs, etc. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, food is, and Jessica always says this, but food is definitely the best medicine for us. And the more food we feed us, the better and healthy that a lot of these numbers will be.
Mm-hmm. So who's ready for the cleanse? So throughout the 21 days, you will eat real, wholesome food. And you'll also supplement with these 4 standard processed supplements. And all of the products are made from real, whole foods of the highest quality. And I actually went to the standard processed farm and where they grow all of a majority of the vegetables used, and was absolutely blown away by the facility, by the working conditions, by the workers themselves. I mean, they give all of their employees chiropractic care and supplements and dental and daycare and gyms. I mean, it's amazing that this company. And so I really stand behind this company and these products, and everything in them is just real food. So it's as if you're eating these foods during your meals.
Yeah, when I went there as well, I was at the same place that Jessica was at. And when I went there, I mean, the average person, who works there has been there at least 7 years. I mean, they built a whole daycare facility just for the employees that's subsidized by the company. They give them $400 a month worth in products to have. They subsidize their chiropractic care, their massage therapist, their acupuncture. They actually bring these professionals on staff to work throughout in the facility. the way they clean everything and the systems that they have, I mean, it looks like the office and facility is brand new. It looks like it was just built yesterday. Even though this, company has been around for a long time, it looks like it was literally just built yesterday, how clean everything is. So it was pretty fascinating. And when, we talk about this as we get into these details, I know a lot of you have heard about cleanses before and detoxes, and, you hear about these 2-day ones, these juice ones, these master cleanses. This is going to be completely different. This is going to be a professional cleanse that we're going to be doing with everyone. You're also going to be getting professional help with Jessica, as long as some other things that are in there. And each thing that we put into this cleanse is actually there for a reason, because there are certain things that have to happen. You can't just do a 2-day juice cleanse and expect to purify and rid all the toxins in your body just in 2 days. It's just not going to work like that. This is a professional cleanse for people who are real serious about getting real results and taking their life to the next level as far as discipline, commitment, creating new habits for themselves.
And what I love about this cleanse in particular that we've created is that it's not super restrictive, in that, like Dr. Cohen said, you have a couple of days where you feel so sick and don't eat anything. You eat real food the whole time. And the goal is to flush your body inside and out of all the bad stuff that's just interfering with your normal and optimal functioning. And the second best part of this cleanse, or really the next best part, is that we are supplementing with supplements, but every single one of them are just filled with real food. There's no chemicals, no synthetics. Your body knows exactly what to do with every single ingredient in these products. So here's what you'll be eating throughout the cleanse. So for days 1 through 10, on the average, you'll be eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, and then a couple of pseudo grains, which are not actual grains, but you can substitute them, like quinoa, and a couple of others that we'll talk about.
You can do buckwheat as well, which is pseudo grain, and we have a great buckwheat pancake recipe that would work really. I don't think that works in the first 10 days, but I think you can start on day 11, right? Okay.
Yep. So for days 1 through 10, we'll be eating like a vegetarian, essentially, because it takes 50% of our body's energy to digest meat. So when we eliminate it for just a portion of time, we're allowing that extra 50% of the energy to be used towards detoxing and repairing the body. Then on days 11 through 21, we'll reincorporate the organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised meats, because there are certain amino acids that are important and they're found in meat. And we'll work one-on-one together. That we might modify this depending on your exercise routine or your goals. But this is, the basic idea of what we'll be doing.
And do you have to wait till day 11 to start having eggs?
Actually, we eliminate eggs throughout the whole time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. And we'll talk about what we'll eliminate at the end for you. So water will be incredibly important as well, because it flushes out all unwanted toxins and substances in the body, as well as nourishes all of your cells. And if our cells are not nourished with food and water, then they will not thrive. So water will be really, really important. Now here's where we talk about foods we avoid. This list is not too long, but some of them might be a little bit difficult, but we'll walk through it together. So during the 21 days, you'll want to avoid things like margarine and spreads, corn oil, any vegetable oil, essentially. They've been modified in such a way that they're pretty toxic to our bodies. And obviously trans fats, you've heard of that for a couple of years. Those are no-no as well. They're pretty poisonous as well. You're going to avoid any caffeine, alcohol, or any type of stimulant in that way. So we're going to avoid coffee, tobacco as well. That goes in that stimulant category. Soft drinks, in other words, any processed sugar. So that means boxed cookies or crackers or anything that's been processed in a box, essentially. And then we're also going to avoid nuts, beans, most grains, so like wheat, rye, barley, and then eggs, and different sugars. The reason is because these foods are typically more allergenic to the body, and so we want to eliminate them for 21 days. And then what we'll do is called reintroductive process. So we'll reintroduce them every couple of days, one thing at a time, so that way we can see what your body likes and what it doesn't like.
Yeah, what's great about this cleanse is, you'll go through the process with Jessica, and she makes it really easy for everyone. Some of the people that thought they could never do this were some of the best testimonials and best results. So it's really important that, you really ask a lot of questions throughout this cleanse, and you ask her, and you can even have her hold your hand throughout the process if you want. I mean, we have different plans that you can do with this. And then even afterwards as well. I mean, after this cleanse, it's not like we're going away. So a lot of people just choose to continue to work with Jessica after the cleanse because they want to make sure that they keep their body healthy after they've already cleansed it and, gotten rid of a lot of toxins. So, and that's an opportunity and option as well. And even if you live in a different state, there's Skype nowadays, there's FaceTime, and there's a lot of sources that you can utilize to still work with us, do the cleanse, and then work with Jessica following.
And our nutrition center is here for you and for your family. And we just want to work diligently to educate you about living the healthiest life and creating the healthiest environment and food choices and lifestyle choices for you and your family. So what we're going to do is go through the 2 different packages that we offer for the cleanse. The first is the basic. So that includes all the supplements for the 21-day purification program. And typically, you get enough supplements to last you for more than 21 days, just FYI. You also get pre and post measurements. You get 2 consults with me throughout the program, where we talk about your progress and answer any questions and really track this to make it more personalized for you. You get a complimentary yoga class in Atlanta. Sorry if you don't live in Atlanta. But you get $5 to our Thomas Deluxe Grill, which is somewhere you could eat. There's a really great raw plate there. And then a complimentary elixir detox from a detox juice bar. So that's $310, which equates to about $14 a day. Then there's also the deluxe package, which is when we get to work even more intimately together, one-on-one, just to really make this a very personalized program for you. So again, you get all the supplements for the 21-day cleanse, pre and post measurements. You get 4 consults with me, which is 1 at the beginning and the end, as well as 2 throughout. 2 30-minute massages, and massaging is super important during this process as well because it really helps to stimulate the lymphatic system. And if you've never heard of that before, the lymphatic system holds and releases all of your toxins. So as we stimulate that, it'll get rid of more toxins. You'll have access to unlimited alkaline water in the office. Again, you get the yoga class, you get $10 to our Thomas, and as well as the complimentary elixir, which is $440 for the whole cleanse.
And if you don't live in Atlanta, you live somewhere else, you know what? We're definitely going to look into your community, look into your area, and we'll find businesses that are out there. And you know what? We'll work something out with them that you can still get access, whether it's a yoga class or a gift card to a health food restaurant there, elixir or a juice or something. Wherever you live, when you communicate with us, we'll do the research, find out where some of the best communities or like the best businesses in that area, and then we'll reach out to them, work something out that you can still get some complimentary stuff and some access into certain avenues. So that way you're still able to take action into those things to start creating better habits. And it's I know sometimes when people look at this, they see that big number, the 310 or the 440, but really when you break it down a day, you realize how inexpensive actually this thing is and really how much of an investment this is. A lot of people, I remember last time when someone was about to do this cleanse, they were like, oh, there's no way I could possibly do the 310. Yet what this person failed to tell us was every day after work, they went out for a drink. Well, that was like $10, $11 every time they went out to get a drink. So we just told them, we're like, hey, for 1 month, just don't go out and get a drink. And they ended up doing that and saving the money to be able to afford the basic package. There's also people I know that are out there that have wanted to do these, and they were like, oh, there's no way I could afford the 310 or the 440. And what ended up happening was we were like, hey, why don't you look at your bank statement or your billing statement and see where are some areas that you may be spending money that you could actually take that out and invest in yourself. Because the fact is I look at stuff like this. I look at stuff like chiropractic. I look at stuff like massage and acupuncture and working out. I look at those investments in my health. The number one reason why people go bankrupt is because of medical expenses. And the fact is, the healthier that we are and the better we take care of our bodies, the less medical expenses we'll have to spend throughout our lifetime. And you know what? You start to see this as people get older, into their 50s, 60s, and 70s, which unfortunately now is becoming sooner based on the poor lifestyle that we treat ourselves. So, my recommendation would be if someone's out there and you're thinking in your head saying, I don't know if I could, I don't know if I could afford that 310. You got to look at it per day and figure out where could you find that $14 or $20 per day? Where could you find it from and put it into this investment for yourself so you can start making a healthier lifestyle. And actually, when you start working with Jessica as well in your consultations, she can make eating very inexpensive. She can show you how to eat very inexpensive and eat super healthy, because really a lot of times when you're spending money on like vegetables and fruits and a lot of those things, it's actually really inexpensive compared to the processed stuff that's out there. So, look at this as an investment. This is probably one of the best investments you could ever make in your life and in your health, because this will produce some of the biggest returns and the biggest gains for you.
Absolutely. And our goal at Corrective Chiropractic is just to give you the best chance at a healthy life. And if this is one tool, great. We want that to be a tool for you. And so we're here to answer any questions and to help you, with your health and building your nutrition knowledge and your chiropractic and exercise, all these knowledge bases for you to just really build the healthiest foundation for a life that we can for you. And so we're excited. We're so excited to do this 21-day cleanse with you and just to walk alongside this journey with you. So if you have any questions, please let us know. You can email us at correctiveatl@gmail.com. You can also give us a call at 404-355-5499. Or if you do live in Atlanta and you want to stop in the office just at your appointment or just in general, definitely let us know. We're here to answer any questions you have. So we're so excited to do this with you and to help invest in your health with you.
And thank you again for watching. And like Jessica said, any questions or concerns, or if you're ready to get started and reboot your health, just let us know. We're ready to take you to the next level. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you.